Okay, so welcome back everyone. This one is for a demonstration of one of our supplementary procedures, an instrument approach using vertical speed. That's in the OMB Vol 1 for your reference, 2.3.4.10. Okay, so just to set the scene here, this is for Glasgow, runway 05 VOR DME. So just to give you an idea of the setup, here we are just prior to the inbound course here. We're at flaps 5, which is a sensible intercept speed, maybe on a radar heading. And here's the waypoint. So we've got the final approach fix here, which we've drawn our 2-mile range ring around. And we would expect to get a call here, approaching glide path, in which case we would configure gear down flaps 15. And then we've got 2,400 set initially. And then we'll put, this is our next waypoint for 3 miles on the Golf Oscar Whiskey VOR. So we'll put 1100 initially, and that will make sure with our rate of descent, our altitude range arc, then would go over the waypoint, which we'll see as we get a little bit closer. And once we've done that, and we're not going to infringe that waypoint, altitude of 1030, then we can put our MDA, which in this case is 510, so we'll put 600, the next 100 rounded up here. From there, once we are 300 feet above that, which will be 900 feet, then we can set the missed approach altitude, so then we reset 3000 feet into the altitude window. So just to release ourselves here, we can either intercept this. You can see from here it's not lined up with the runway. Okay, so as you can see here, the extended center line of the runway and the approach path is offset, so you can expect to see the runway out to your right hand side when you look out the window. So we'll just release it, and so we can either use VORLOC to capture the inbound VOR, which is the radial 041. That's set on both sides, and we have the Golf Oscar Whiskey 115.4. That's set on both sides. We've got the minima set 510. We'll do a flaps 30 landing. Other thing to notice here, it's a steeper glide path, so 3.72. I'll just show you the calculation for that. The speed in knots divided by 60, multiplied by 6080, multiplied by tan alpha, and which is 3.72. So here we have 5 knots on this, so on a 0 wind condition, a rate of descent likely to be around 990 foot per minute. So we'll start off with that. So just about to release then, here we go. So we'll arm VORLOC. We could do this in LNAV if we wanted, but we'll choose VORLOC. On the right hand side here, you can have raw data display just to show the radial coming in. So here we go, inbound course. Call here, FMA change VORLOC. So call as we reach the 2 mile from the final descent point. Approaching glide path, check. Glide path, check. Gear down. Flaps 15. Ignition switches to continuous. Speed brake armed, and then checking we get speed brake armed green light. So that descent point is at 6.7. So at 6.9 we can look to start the vertical speed, We've also got this as a backup here on the vertical profile. So the initial one I said to set was going to be 1100. Open vertical speed and make sure that that is in 0. Okay. Just going to pause that there. So this descent point 6.7 on the Golf Oscar Whiskey. So 7.1, so 6.9 I did say I'm going to start to put the 1,000 feet in and start to get this to nose over. You are just seeing the runway, so you can see how offset this is, which ties up with the map. Just releasing. So put our vertical speed in. It's 1,000. Configure. Laps 30. So here we go, so that looks pretty good on the path here, and you can now see the altitude range arc will achieve the point 1100 here, so that's good. Once we know and we're happy with that, we can then set MDA, which we agreed was 510, so we can set 600 in here. Still using this as a backup here, so that path looks good. Obviously vertical speeds greater than 1,000 feet need to be briefed. So once we then reach 900 feet on the altimeter, then we can reset the missed approach altitude. So here's our 1030 check. As we go through the 3-mile waypoint, so that's good. Approaching 900 feet. For some reason the simulator trips into alt hold. That wouldn't happen here, so I'll just re-engage vertical speed, check the window, and I can now set 3000 for the missed approach, and then from here I can disconnect the autopilot auto throttle if I haven't already done so, and then maneuver for a manual landing. Hope that's been of use. Hope I've made that clear how you step through the altitudes, just to check and then confirm that with the altitude range arc. Calculate, especially if you have a steeper approach path than just the normal 3 degree where you've just sort of add a 0 and half the ground speed to give you a rate of descent. Obviously this one was a little bit trickier, so that's why I put the formula up there for you. Hope that's been of use to you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again on the next video.